What should come first, debt, retirement, or kids' college?
Welcome to Barry's Bites. Please join our host, attorney and financial advisor Chris Barry.
This is kind of a financial planning question that'll depend on a family's individual situation. So I would start with debt. And so looking at the debt, I would look at what is the interest rate on the debt, because there's what's called good debt and bad debt. And just as a general rule, depending on where interest rates are, if the interest on that debt is greater than 4%, I would probably lean towards paying that off, just because if you look at your net worth kind of like a bucket and you have interest going out through some type of debt, think of that as a hole in the bucket. And so if that hole in the bucket is maybe like 2%, but we have high yield savings accounts right now that are generating 4%, you would look at it and you're actually growing kind of the water in the bucket. You're growing your net worth, even though you have this hole in the bucket. But if you took money to plug that hole, understand that would be less money earning that 4% or greater. For example, my car, it's a minivan, 2015, but like I love it and it runs well. But I think when I got it, I actually financed it, but like the interest rate at the time was like 0.9%. So it was almost like free money. So I could have paid it off, but if I took that money that I would have used to pay off the minivan and invested it, I was getting more growth on that. So that's where everyone's situation is a little different, but just kind of as a general rule, that 4% rule makes sense. If the debt is greater than 4%, you're probably going to want to look at paying that off sooner rather than later, because think of it as in terms of that bucket, you have more going out than you might have coming guaranteed in from the top. But again, everyone's situation is a little different. So I always start with the debt. And then from there, the next step would be looking at retirement. Now, I understand the kids' college education, that's probably going to come sooner. But with my clients, I always want to make sure they're taken care of first, and then we worry about other things. Because if they overspend on the college education, like there might not be enough for retirement, and now you're living with the kids or something like that. So it's kind of like the idea of when you're on an airplane, they talk about like putting on your oxygen mask first, and then you worry about other people. So that's what I would say is probably the college education, even though it might be coming sooner than retirement, I would make sure that first you have a plan to figure out when you can retire, and then look at providing for the next generation, whether that's upon passing or whether that's through paying for college education.